Alright guys, as you can see, it's the 24th of October, Central European Standard Time, so the giveaway will end right now, and I will draw the winners. So this is my YouTube video. Just copy the link out here and put it here. Then we want to filter the duplicates and solve this real quick. And we get 10 unique comments. This is not a lot, guys. So I think your chance of winning this giveaway this time is really high. So definitely good luck. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you in the future also want to take part in such giveaways. It's definitely not the last giveaway that I will do. So okay, let's start. Let's pick the winner. Who is the winner? It's Zach Sue. I think Embittered Lune has higher damage output for focus damage, but is harder to build in terms of relic and even team with very limited condition. Alright, congrats, Zach. So since one requirement was to be to join the Discord server, definitely message me over Discord. So that will be the proof that you are probably in the server, because I will see it then. And then just send me a screenshot that you all subscribe to the channel, because your proof that you did a comment is already here. If you message me over Discord, I will see if you are in the Discord server, and then just send me a screenshot that you all subscribe to the channel, and then we can talk about how I will buy you your Express Supply Pass. All right. So just in case Zach doesn't message me, I will draw the second winner right now. I would say that he has time until the 27th. All right. If he doesn't message me until the 27th, I will draw another winner, just in case he didn't message me. All right. Okay. So this is not the actual winner. Zach is the winner, but if he isn't able to message me until the 27th, you are the winner. All right. Let's go. Okay, of course, I cannot win myself, because I also did comment down below. Who what? Okay, you are the winner if Zach doesn't message me until the 27th. Same is for you. You have to be on the Discord server. Message me over Discord on the 27th. Ask if Zach did message me. If he messaged me, then unfortunately you won't get anything. But if he messaged me until the 27th, then you are the winner. I will buy you an Express Supply Pass on your account. Alright, that's it. See you to the next giveaway, and enjoy the video. What is up, guys? My name is Ray and welcome to another Honkai tutorial video. Now, in today's video, we're taking a look at TOPAZ and Nambi, like not only the character preview, but also which characters do work quite good alongside with her. But before we hop into the topic of today's video, I just want to point you guys to my Discord server. It is free to join already. Shout out to Tony and Yolo Di Gacha for setting up the server. Most things are set and done. And yeah, the link for this is in the description of pretty much every video and every future video. And it's free to join for everyone. So definitely make sure to join here to build our community. If you need help or something, you definitely can message me on the server and I will help you as quick as possible. As well as my YouTube short section on the YouTube channel. So definitely make sure to check that out too. I'll try to post a YouTube short there every day. All right, with that being said, let's get back into the topic of today's video with the character TOPAZ and Nambi. So I will go over the character first, and then we will take a quick look with which characters TOPAZ should work. Because I honestly think that TOPAZ is a very different character from what we already have in the game. She's not really a DPS, but she's also not really a defensive character. But she provides something new into the game. And I'd say that this is it could be a little bit like Kafka is in the game. But yeah, let's take a quick look at her crit first. So we have her as a 5-star fire type character on the hunt path. And yeah, actually don't wonder that my cam today is on the right. That's just that we can pretty much see everything, and that doesn't bother the text or something. Okay, so the traces here, these are actually very important. When TOPAZ uses her basic attack to deal damage, it will be considered as a follow-up attack. So basically her whole kit evolves around follow-up attacks, and already her basic attack is counted as a follow-up attack. Then the second is it increases Topaz and Nambi's damage dealt to enemy targets with fire weakness. So basically, characters that have fire weakness will just get more damage. And after Nambi uses an attack while in the Windfall or Bonanza state, Topaz additionally regenerates energy. So she has an in-engine energy regain. Okay, so then we have a basic attack that basically just deals fire damage to a single enemy. And as we already know, this is counted as a follow-up attack. Then we have her technique, which is quite interesting. The technique basically says that it summons a Nambi into the open world. Nambi will automatically find your treasures and something. Then the first thing, if you go into a fight, the first attack after Nambi attacks will regenerate you a set amount of energy. And the second one is after the fight, you will get additional credits as you're in the overworld, and as you're in the simulated universe, you will get an additional cosmic fragment. But there is a limit on how much credit you can get per day. So yeah, it's very nice. It's something very different. Usually, most techniques just give you an advantage for the fight. The only advantage that you can gain here is the energy regeneration. But besides that, I think it's still a very nice side effect. Then the talent. Okay. It basically summons Nambi at the start of the battle. Okay, I have to go over this again. Summons Nambi at the start of battle. Nambi has a certain initial speed and will launch follow-up attacks when it takes action. It also will deal fire to a single targets in the proof of depth state when enemies inflicted with this one. Okay, so basically you summon Nambi and he has this certain stuff of ability. His attacks count as follow-up attacks, and as you applying the proof of depth state on the enemy, the Nambi can Nambi's action is advanced forward, so we basically take another turn and get another attack. Yeah, and if Topaz dies, Nambi is not on the field. So I really think it's odd that they sometimes talk about or they use those special terms that is involved in the character's kit, but they explain it under it. So you have to read through everything before you understand what the proof of depth state means. So basically, it is now explained here in the skill. The skill applies a single target with the proof of depth status. And the proof of depth status basically says that your follow-up attacks will deal more damage on the target where the proof of depth state is applied to. And it will only count for the most recent target, so it is not AoE. So only one unit or one enemy at a time can be applied with the status, and only this unit will receive more damage through follow-up attacks. And if the good thing on this is if there is no enemy that has the proof of depth state applied, Topaz will use it automatically on a random ally. Yeah. So when an ally's turn starts or when an ally takes action, Topaz will just inflict at a random enemy with the proof of depth state. After this, if you use her E, Nambi will deal fire damage, and when dealing damage using the skill, the attack will be considered as a follow-up attack. Okay, of course. If you use this, you will apply the status, it will deal damage, and it is counted as a follow-up attack. The good thing on this skill, which I really like and I really appreciate, is that this skill works passively. Because we have this, if there are no enemies inflicted with proof of depth on the field when an ally's turn starts or when an ally takes action, Topaz will inflict a random enemy with proof of depth. I think this is a really good mechanic. I mean, yeah, it's a random enemy, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion. I think this is a very good mechanic, that you have an E that could possibly make the character skill point positive or skill point neutral, because you always will get the effect of the E. You still can decide. If you have a skill point left, you can use it on the enemy that you needed to do more damage on. Or if you don't have enough skill points, you just use her basic attack, which already counts as a follow-up attack. Then she applies the proof of death. You will still see on which enemy the proof of death state will be applied. And in the next one, you still can attack this certain enemy with your basic attack, and the basic attack will deal more damage because it is counted as a follow-up attack. So I think this skill overall is a really good skill. I like the skill, actually. Then for the ultimate, Nambi enters the Windfall Bonanza, so the state, and its damage multiplier and crit damage is increased. So basically, you will increase the damage of Nambi. Also, when enemies with proof of death or hit by an ally's basic attack, skill, or ultimate, Nambi's action is advanced forward. Okay, so basically, you will be able to give Nambi even more attacks. Nambi exits the Windfall Bonanza state after having used a certain number of attacks. Okay, I think this is also very interesting. So, of course, they don't state how many turns this holds or how many attacks Nambi can do in this state here. But as they're explaining this, it will be at least 2 or more, right? So, Nambi will have at least for 2 or more attacks increased damage, basically, and action advance forward, as long as the enemy has proof of that. So I think that the kit of this character overall is very interesting because you still have to decide if you want to use your E to decide on which enemy you want to apply the proof of death state, or if you want to use it randomly. But then you also have to live with the fact that if it hits the wrong enemy, you likely want to still attack this enemy to get the attack value out from TOPAZ, right? So because the proof, it basically a lot is not only around evolved around the follow-up attack, which is like kind of obvious, but like everything is also evolved around the proof of death state. You basically want to attack the enemy with the proof of death state because this enemy will take increased damage from your follow-up attacks. Follow-up attack, I think, like in terms of TOPAZ, is not that important because everything in her kit does follow-up count as follow-up attack damage. It doesn't matter if you do her skill, her basic attack, or her ultimate, because her ultimate just says that you increases her follow-up attack. Nambi is also follow-up attack. So basically, it doesn't matter what terms of damage you want to do, but it is important for the team, that the characters that you're basically using with. So just by seeing this, I still cannot really see like how the damage is compared to any DPS character. Because yeah, I think it's really all about the proof of death and how often Nambi can attack. I think this is very interesting. I think like this type is a little different from what we already have. I mean, yeah, Kefka is able to improve dot damage from other team members and also her own dot. And I think this is very similar with follow-up attack. So TOPAZ, in a sense, is of course a little bit similar to Kefka, but for follow-up attacks. I wouldn't actually say that TOPAZ is the Kefka for follow-up attacks, but it has a similarity, of course. So she is there to buff that because Kefka on her own can deal a lot of damage, honestly, on her own. If you don't pair her with other dot characters, Kefka is still be able to be a hyper carry in a team comp. But I think like in the future, Kefka is more so a character to improve other dot characters, especially if we get a new 5-star character, a few new 5-star Nihility character that can have dot. I think Kefka will be downgraded not as the main DPS for the dot team. She will be more likely the support of that team, right? And I think the same goes with TOPAZ. Right now, I think her damage is still decent. I honestly think that her damage cannot be compared to Imbibed Lune and to Jingliu. But if we like see it as the whole team of TOPAZ, maybe can hold up to teams with Jingliu and Imbibed Lune in the future. I think not on release. I think on release, the damage definitely will be less. But it seems to me that this character has a lot of future proof. She's like not that strong from the beginning, but it seems to me that she will get more relevant. And why she gets more relevant is what I want to show you right now, because I want to show you like the 2 best follow-up attack characters that we have currently in the game. So this is the character roster that we have. Shoutouts to pridepin.gg, link in the description down below in every video pretty much. Okay guys, I actually forgot to mention one character, so I will start off from here again. Alright, this is the character roster. We already know that in patch 1.5, Ho-Ho in Abandon's character and our Genty in Erudition character, as well as Hanya in Harmony character is coming out. And they're all in that sense not relevant for TOPAZ because none of them is a character that involves follow-up in their kit. As well as Gunaifen, who is coming out with TOPAZ in her banner, but she is, as we already know, a Nihility character that improves or that is support for dot teams, so basically for Kafka. Right, so this is the character roster here that we have. All characters that are currently in the game or that are coming out very, very soon. And we know that we have a couple of follow-up characters, so I just want to mention Herta here. I know that she has follow-up involved in her kit, but I don't want to mention that character because I don't really think that she is relevant enough. But the first character that we want to talk about is Clara. I do think Clara is the best follow-up attack character right now in the game, but not in the sense that she pairs well with TOPAZ. She's like overall the best character out of the characters that I will mention in this video probably. So we do know under the protection of Sverok, damage taken by Clara when hit by enemy attacks is reduced by 10%. And Sverok will mock enemies who attack Clara with this with his mark of counter and retaliate with a counter, dealing physical damage equal to 160% of Clara's attack. So, of course, still, they're not mentioning a single word about follow-up attack, but we do know that the counter here counts as a follow-up attack. So definitely, this is something that we have to take in count. Also, her ultimate increases even the damage of this counter attack. So she basically has a mechanic to even improve the damage already by herself. Now, what is the problem then? The problem is that her kit evolves around RNG, while if we don't use the E of the path to proc the proof of that on a enemy, it is another layer of RNG. So we probably have at least 2 layers of RNG, which why there is a small mismatch in the synergy. So let me explain this on an example. Let's say you don't use the skill from TOPAZ, so you hit a random enemy. But this this counter only triggers if Clara takes the damage. So as long as Clara doesn't get hit by that random enemy that now has the proof of death state, Clara won't deal damage. Of course, if the enemy does hit Clara, and Clara will attack back and also will deal additional damage because that target has the proof of that state. But we already on an RNG layer, and we don't want to add another RNG layer to that. So that's why I don't think that TOPAZ and Clara is a perfect match here. I think, of course, they work together. They have some sort of a synergy because of that proof of death. It still says that Clara's damage probably will be increased, but we have to live with the fact that we cannot choose ourselves the enemy where we want to increase the damage. The proof of that basically does say that we want to increase the damage of this ability, but this ability says it only happens at all if Clara gets attacked. Of course, with this, we can, of course, increase the chance of Clara being hit, but it is still not guaranteed. We still rely on some sort of RNG, which why I don't really think that this is the perfect match to pair Clara with TOPAZ, but I still think it is possible. But you have to hit like the right RNG layer. So even in a perfect scenario where we use the skill of TOPAZ while we choose the enemy where we want to put on the proof of death, it is still not guaranteed that this enemy attacks Clara even if Clara uses her ultimate. I mean, this is like just we can increase the chances to a certain amount, but we cannot guarantee anything. Which, for example, by Jing Liu, we can always guarantee her to do the insane amount of damage as long as she is in the spectral transmigration state, as long as she has the 2 stacks. While this now involves putting the debuff, actually the debuff, it's not quote-unquote a debuff, but putting that proof of death on the right enemy, while that certain enemy has to attack Clara to get the full damage value out of it. All right. So yeah, that's basically it for Clara. Now, the next is Himiko. Himiko was always like the black sheep in the standard banner, like one of the worst DPS characters. She got like pretty much power crept very, very early in the beginning. And even now with the release of Topaz, I'd say that Himiko doesn't become meta, but she becomes more relevant definitely. So this is her follow-up attack. When an enemy is inflicted with weakness break, Himiko gains 1 point of charge, and she can get a maximum of 3 points. If Himiko is fully charged when an ally performs an attack, Himiko immediately performs 1 follow-up attack. So basically, she needs to have 3 stacks to get the follow-up attack. The good thing on her follow-up attack is that it does hit all enemies, so we don't ever have to worry who the proof of that state is applied on, because Himiko does hit everything. The target with the proof of that will get more damage, while all other enemies will still be hit, which is a really good thing. Also, it's pretty cool that she gains at the start of battle 1 charge. So at the beginning, you only need to get 2 charges. But still, I think 3 charges overall is quite a lot. Even though if you pair her with Topaz, you will eventually go in a fight where fire is the weakness. You have like 2 characters that can weakness break. So it is definitely not too hard to trigger this, because Topaz can break 1 weakness, while Himiko can break multiple weaknesses because she is AoE. And then eventually you'll get those 3 stacks very quickly. While the proof of that state is applied on the right enemy, you still can do the follow-up attack. I mean, like, the synergy is way higher than Topaz with Clara, of course. The synergy is there. Also, they are from the same type, so you can increase the damage as soon as the enemy is from the fire weakness. But my overall problem not relies into Topaz kit, because I think Topaz is not the problem in this comp, but Himiko is, because her damage is like still not good enough. It will be more relevant because of Topaz, but I think it's still not relevant enough to justify it and compare it to Jingliu, Imbibe the Lune, Sealy. I think we can even count Blade and Sealy in here, which are also very, very good characters. But I think a Topaz Himiko comp won't hold up to those characters that I just mentioned. But it is definitely usable. I don't say that like that is horrible, but it is like usable. It is decently good, I think, but I don't feel like it is good enough. But yeah, for the first synergy, the first team comp that could work with Topaz, it's probably Himiko. Now, for the character that I just forgot to mention, who is actually even more important, is Jingyuan. Jingyuan also is able to do follow-up attacks through his Lightning Lord. I completely forgot that Lightning Lord is a follow-up attack-based character. Now, let's go over this real quick again. Summons Lightning Lord at the start of the battle. Lightning Lord has a 60 base speed and 3 base hits per action. When the Lightning Lord takes action, its hits are considered as follow-up attacks, with each hit dealing lightning damage equal to 66% of Jingyuan's attack to a random single enemy. And enemies adjacent to it also receive lightning damage equal to 25% of the damage dealt to the target enemy. The Lightning Lord hits per action can reach a max of 10. Every time Lightning Lord hits per action increases by 1. Its speed increases by 10. After Lightning Lord's action ends, its speed and hits per action return to their base values. When Jingyuan is knocked down, the Lightning Lord will also disappear. And when Jingyuan is affected by crowd control debuff, the Lightning Lord is unable to take action. So yeah, I think we already saw the problem here. It's kind of the same problem as Clara. It could be even worse, but it hits, considered as follow-up attacks, of course. If the enemy has the proof of that status, the damage is increased. But it does to a random single enemy. And I think this is even worse than with Clara, because with Clara, you can at least increase the chance for Clara to being hit, and you can choose the enemy to be on the proof of death. While now for Topaz, in the role, let's say you pair Topaz with Jingyuan, and you choose. Now it doesn't matter if you choose the enemy to put the proof of death or you put it on the random enemy, because Jingyuan will attack a random enemy anyway. So if it is not only one enemy, which currently is not the meta right now is that we have multiple enemies, and it even increases into the number of enemies. I think this is worse, because now, let's say both scenarios, right? You use Topaz E on a enemy chosen by yourself, and then you attack a random enemy. You have to hope to get it on the right proof of that applied, so that the follow-up from the Lightning Lord will deal even more damage. While, let's say the other scenario, you don't use the skill and put it on a random enemy, then you have to hope for it's like pretty much the same outcome. Now you have to hope again for Jingyuan's Lightning Lord that he hits the right enemy. So yeah, there's like the problem for me. So basically, if I have to rank those characters, Himiko is definitely number one. She's the best character to pair with Topaz if you want to make her work. While I think Topaz herself is also really not that bad currently as a main DPS character, but not compared to the top levels like Jingliu and Imbibe Lune. I don't think that she can hold up. Maybe I'm wrong. It could be, but I don't think that it will be true. And next is Clara, because she has less RNG involved than Jingyuan. Well, Jingyuan is actually the worst to combine from the characters that are relevant. I mean, like, Herta is maybe even more relevant, but let's be honest, who would use Herta? These three characters are maybe characters that you did already build or that you considered to build, and that's why I think that they're in here. All right, that's it. That's all like the characters that currently work. Hopefully we get another character that has good follow-up attacks soon. So we don't have to have a character that buffs follow-up attacks, but a character that is evolved a little bit more into follow-up attacks, that doesn't rely too much on RNG like the other characters do. So maybe it could be something like a little bit similar to Himiko, with maybe less stacks and a higher multiplier. But what really helps in Himiko's kit is that it hits all enemies, probably. So maybe the erudition character with follow-up attacks could be something like a power crept Himiko from another element, basically. I think that could be very good. A very good addition here. Alright, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. With that being said, see you guys next time. Subscribe to the channel, and bye.